welcome back to the channel. Real quick. All right, guys, I'm in the neighborhood now. I was actually on a test drive. Okay, I got my friend's car here. Now, she said she want a tune-up, and y'all know how I am about tune-ups, or how I am about only screwing in spark plugs. I don't roll like that, okay? So I decided to drive it, and thank goodness I did, man, because I feel some serious hesitation going on with this thing. All right, so just say coming up a hill, you get that. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that could be a tune-up, but it could also be a number of things. Now, she did go to AutoZone or Advanced Auto, one of them, and pull some fault codes, and came up with P0300. Now, by now, everybody should know what P0300. That simply means that there's a misfire in cylinder 2. All right. So, guys, what I'm gonna do is actually I'm here. I'm gonna do a tune-up on this thing. So now here's the spark plugs that she got me. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go get me some tools, and we're gonna proceed with replacing these spark plugs. When I get back, we're gonna be under the hood performing. I don't like to call this a tune-up because a tune-up is not just spark plugs only. There's a lot of things you need to check during a tune-up, but we'll cover that some more when we get outside under the hood, guys. Stay with me, don't go anywhere. I will be right back. All right, guys, I am back. Had to let this thing cool off, man. Try not to do not get in the habit of removing spark plugs when your engine is extremely hot. Okay, those are aluminum cylinder heads you're dealing with, all right? So you don't want to be unscrewing the spark plugs and your thread come out along with it. So try to let the car cool down. That's exactly what I did. It's nice and cool now, and I actually lost some daylight savings time. So I got to get right to it, guys. I got to get right with it and get trucking, okay? So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to end up doing is, y'all can see the intake manifold has to come off. Okay, a couple of things you need to be careful of. There's an EGR tube in the rear, okay? A gasket or O-ring, a little blue O-ring. You have to be extremely careful when installing that thing. You don't want to get it trapped up, okay? Now, I decided to go through with replacing the spark plugs and just see what happens afterwards, okay? Because it's a misfire on the load, okay? As I was going up the hill is when I felt it, okay? So a couple of things you can disregard, not so much disregard, but you can cancel out, okay? And not so much cancel out, but we're dealing with a load issue. We're dealing with a secondary ignition, okay? If you bogging down a bad hesitation only on the load, you can pretty much cancel out things like, now I won't say low compression injectors. You can semi-cancel that stuff out, okay? Now, if I had a misfire at idle, then yeah, I can assume, or I would really run a compression test, okay? You should do the full-blown diagnostics if you have a misfire at idle. That could be anything from an injector to even low compression. It could be internal. Now, I'm not saying a high load bog down cannot be from low compression. It just would not be. It will also be at idle, okay? So the things that can be affected at idle and off idle is what you should be concerned with. And yes, secondary ignition can really be affected by off idle, meaning on the load, okay? If you're going up a hill, or you just simply bog it down. You bog it down and feel some missing on the load. Yes, it's likely a secondary problem. So, quite frankly, her problem could be a spark plug, but no sense in guessing at it, man. Let's get this thing off. And another thing could be an ignition coil. Okay, this has their own separate coils on each cylinder. So I have to remove the coils anyway to do the plugs. Now, there's a way you can test the coil, but because we're dealing with cylinder 2, y'all know how to detect cylinder 1 and 2. We're talking about banks now, okay? The cylinder that's closest to the front, obviously cylinder 1, which make that bank 1. This case, That's cylinder 2 right there, which means it is extremely easy. Okay, I don't have to pull a plenum or nothing. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go through with replacing the spark plugs and just test it and see if it's bogging down afterwards. All right, that sounds fair enough. Let's get with it, man. I'm gonna go to a quick ad break and grab some tools, and we're gonna get started. Let's get it. All right, guys. As you can see, this is cylinder 1. Wow, look at that. So if cylinder 2 looked like that or similar or even worse, then yes, she called it right. It just merely needs spark plugs, okay? That looks like a spark plug that's just worn. Now, you can gauge spark plugs many different ways. Spark plugs can actually get as a good indicator of what's going on inside the engine. So I'll do a complete video on what spark plug would look like if there's internal problems. Okay, so yes, if her plugs look like this in cylinder 2 or any of them, this could actually be causing her problem. So she may not need a coil. All right, but we're gonna find out. Let's keep right on moving. Wow. Here's another one. Whoa. So I'm pretty much willing to wager a bet that they all look like that, guys. All right, let me point something out about these spark plug tubes. If your engine has spark plug tube, you're almost guaranteed to have spark plug tube seals. Okay, so you have to seal between the valve cover and the actually spark plug tube, the actual spark plug tube. Okay, so there's a seal somewhere in here. Now, if you look at these spark plug tubes, cylinder 2, 4, as you can see, cylinder 6, the spark plug tubes are a little higher. It's been raised. Okay, that could be from pressure, that could be anything, but I've been known to just take a socket the same size diameter as the tube and merely tap it back down into place because you don't want it to work its way out. It's just losing its luster, that's all. This car has 200-some thousand miles. So this one here look like it's coming up a bit. This one down normal. So I'm going to merely tap those down into place. Before long, I will have to remove the valve covers anyway. So that's when I will go in with new seals and probably go in with new spark plug tubes, okay? They are a replaceable item. You can't replace them. And also, last thing of note, make certain that your lower intake, it's not the lower, but the upper intake gasket is, if you're going to reuse it, you got to make sure it's reusable. All right. Yeah, as you can see, that one is flat. Wow. That could cause air leaks and all kinds of problems, guys. So that is not a good look. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Everything here from here on out is pretty self-explanatory. Just going to screw in the spark plugs. I'm going to get a new intake seal, and we're going to take care of this. I'm going to merely tap it down. I don't have my hammer. I'm working at her house. So I'll probably come back tomorrow and finish this thing up, but I don't want to leave this video wide open. Y'all got the point in the picture of what's going on. We was chasing misfire under load, and from the look of these plugs, that could indicate some internal. We're gonna replace the plugs though, because the electrolyte is fairly worn down, so that could simply be a worn out spark plug. You know, what kind of plug? These are Champion plugs, so they are name brand spark plugs, that's for sure. But I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna close this video out, wrap this up. I'm gonna screw in the plugs, get me a new intake gasket, put the coils back on, and like I say, I have a video showing how to properly install this EGR tube. Guys, you got to be extremely careful with this. This can give you headaches, cause all kinds of problems if it's not installed correctly, properly, the way it should be. So you have to be extremely careful. All right, so let me wrap this video up, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, welcome back. I decided to open this video back up because I went and grabbed some parts and got a new gasket, new EGR seal. I got everything put back together and running, but I want y'all to hear something. Y'all hear that? That little ticking, knocking, ticking / knocking sound. Yes, even the 3.5 had valve train noise and valve train issues back when it was popular. But during this era, we was replacing. Now, I was around when we had to remove the valve train and totally build the valve train, rebuild it. Okay, we had all these parts laid aside. We had to put in new. This problem here is actual lifters. Okay, not rocker arm problem like the 3.6. This is a different type of issue here. But if you was to go get some parts for valve train noise on this 3.5 liter engine, you would get the complete rail assembly. Okay, it is very easy to do. You remove the valve cover and just remove all the bolts holding the rail assembly down. It's built into one rail assembly. That is the parts Chrysler came up with after we went through that whole ordeal about the valve train noise. Okay, so this problem was the issue with the actual lifters. All right, so in that rail you're going to get all, and in fact the lifters are included in the rail. Okay, in the rocker arm rail assembly. Okay, so that was the whole issue on this 3.5. All right, guys, now I can close it down. I just wanted y'all to hear that, and so you know not to panic if you hear that, especially after you do just did a tune-up. A lot of guys, oh my God, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. It likely was there before you started the tune-up. Okay, now it is a little colder, or I let it cool off, so it might quiet down as it warm up. But don't panic, guys. That's just a valve train ticking. Now, should you get it fixed? Probably so. You know, you should. Depending on how long you're gonna keep the car, if you want to invest that much money into it. But that's a call you have to make, guys. Now I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.